Since the making of the video that you're about to see, a new piece of equipment was invented that makes doing the Nordic hamstring curl easy no matter where you are, as long as you have a door. This is what it is. It's a piece of strap with foam. There's different ones. This is called Nordic. I'll put a link below, but if you also look up Nordic hamstring curl strap on Amazon, you can find some others as well. All you do, you can adjust this here lengthwise, and you put this piece underneath the bottom of the door, towards the middle of the door, if you can. Mine's not in the middle because I'm trying to be fast. And then you're just gonna position the length so that it securely holds your heels. Make sure the door is closed, and so that it securely holds your heels, and then you can just go ahead and do the movement. This is the easiest and fastest way to get in position. I highly recommend getting it. Then for the fall on the ball Nordic version, which I'm about to show you, I found this little handy thing. It's called a exercise ball stand, also on Amazon. And what it does is it helps keep the ball in place, which I will now get a ball. It's going to magically appear out of nowhere. And so then when it goes in here, it helps it stay in place. Now it's not like foolproof, it's not like it can't come out, but I found that when I tried doing the exercise this way, it did stay in position when I was falling on the ball. So it's a really great thing in case you can't be like jutted up against a wall or whatnot, and it allows you to use the Nordic. And with this combo, you can do this exercise basically anywhere. Hey ladies, let's do the Nordic hamstring curl, the fall on the ball version. So I know you see a lot of stuff here, and it probably looks a little overwhelming. But hold on a second, you don't actually have to do all of this, possibly, depending on what you have in your home, okay? So first of all, the things that you do need for this version are a wall or a door, a stability ball, and some sort of dumbbell. This is just a 10-pound one to hold the stability ball in place, or just something heavy. It doesn't have to be a dumbbell, but just something to kind of keep this from rolling away and keep it in place, okay? So that you do need regardless. If you don't have a place to do this, there's another version with a ball rollout version I'll link below that you can do instead, okay? But you will need this set up. Now, over here, what's going on with all this? This is the thing. What we need to do for all Nordic exercises is we need a place to put our heels or our toes underneath. So that's the goal here. We have to do something to anchor our body here so that when we lean over, our whole body just doesn't fall over, okay? So this is the cause of my strange setup here. Now, at home, I have a chase lounge, and there is like a, 1 or 2 inch gap on the bottom of that chase lounge, and it's a heavy, heavy enough that I can stick my toes under there, and that works just fine. Now, a few other things, if you have a treadmill, there might be a gap under it that you can stick your toes under. You try your bed, look at your coffee tables, chairs, just look at any sort of heavier, large, bulky items around the house that you might be able to just shove your little toes under that can keep you there. Now, it could be either enough just for your toes. That's ideal. It will kind of get your calf muscles more involved. But if it's a slightly larger gap, where your heels fit under, so say this was taller and my heels were being held in place, that would be okay as well, okay? Because we're just trying to make it work, right? So that's the simplest thing, and then you don't have a whole lot of setup to do. You might want something to rest your knees on, so a little foamy pad or something like that. You may not need it. I find I need it for my knees these days. So now that we've talked about this setup, hopefully all that makes sense. What you're gonna do is all of this contraption here, or whatever chase lounge or coffee table you use, you wanna have it so that when you put your toes underneath, that the ball, you can see the ball's, I don't know, it's like a couple feet from me, right? It's about 2 feet away or so. Let me just show you what we're gonna do real quick. So you can see what I just did, right? So the idea is you're gonna be kind of resisting the fall, and then when you can't resist anymore, you let yourself just fall onto the ball. So somewhere around chest here, so you can adjust it to fit the right way. Again, like I said, if you don't have something you can stick your feet under and be this close to a wall without it taking you like half an hour to set it up, do the ball roll out one. That one would be better. And if you do this setup, like it'd probably be good to have it like a permanent setup, like you have a little corner in a room and it's just always like this or something. All right, so to get into position, we're gonna be in tall kneeling, so on our knees. Toes or heels are underneath the space that we've figured out. Your knees are just a comfortable distance apart. So, you know, shoulder, hip width, whatever feels comfortable to you. You're completely upright in your starting position, so there's no crease in your hip. Right here, neutral hip. You have your shoulders stacked over the hips and shoulders down and back. Now with the arms, there's two options. You can either cross your arms over your chest like this, or you can have them just right inside the shoulders like this, okay? So either one, you can try both, see what feels more comfortable to you. Now before we start the movement, you want to think about engaging your glute muscles as well. This is gonna help you keep the hip extended. So as we go down, at no time do we want to start breaking at the hips, okay? We don't wanna be like that, okay? And there will be a tendency to do that because of the difficulty of the exercise. So to counteract that tendency for us to start going like that, we need to actively squeeze the glutes, okay? So here's me kind of getting ready to do the movement without engaging my glutes at all, okay? Even though I'm kind of technically in neutral here. And here's me actively engaging my glutes and kind of pushing forward here into my hips a little bit. Does that make sense? So you want to do that. You want to think about having your hamstrings and your glutes turned on right here. Things are a little bit taut back here right now as I get ready to do the movement. As I lower my torso, I'm only unbending at the knee, okay? So all of the rest of this, the goal is to keep it straight as it falls forward. As you move forward, you're gonna use your hamstring muscles and your glute muscles, and your calves will be working too, to resist falling, okay? You're trying to slow it. So you're not trying to just stay in midair. You will be gradually lowering, but you're trying to do a slow lower, okay? And that'll be your hamstrings working super hard to achieve that. Now, at some point, as you go forward, it's just gonna be too much for the hamstrings. Like you're not gonna be able to control the fall anymore. At that point, consciously just let go of the hamstrings and just free fall onto the ball, okay? What you'll find is as you get stronger, you know, how much of the descent you can slow down will increase. So at first you might just be here and you might only go forward a little bit and then you kind of just fall. And then as you get stronger, you're gonna be able to control it much further so that you're only falling like, you know, from here to here instead of from here to here. Does that make sense? So hopefully that makes sense there. Let's go ahead and do a few and then I'll see if I can think of a couple more things to explain. So remember, as you lower, keep this hip here extended, not letting yourself bend at the hips, okay? Now, as you can see, oh my goodness, I have never seen a white ladybug before. Have you seen that? Maybe it's not a ladybug.
I don't know if it's a ladybug. I saw one in my garden the other day though.
Have you ladies ever seen like a bug that looks like a ladybug, but it's actually like a creamy white with black spots? Anyhow, albino, how cute, bye-bye. So now when I fall, depending on how much air is in the ball and stuff, it may bounce you back up a certain amount and that's fine. So we're not trying to do any movement as we come back up. So whatever, if it bounces you all the way back up, great. Or if you land here, then you can push yourself back up, okay? So we're doing this as an eccentric only movement. So we're only working our muscles as we lower. Once we get to the bottom, we're just trying to get ourselves back into position to do the next rep, okay? Remember, if you're new to this, you're gonna start probably with only doing 3 reps. Work up to 5 reps, you know, 2 sets of 5 reps, then 2 to 3 sets of 7 to 8 reps, and work up to 10 reps, okay? So let's go ahead and do a few together now. Remember, glutes turned on. Keep all of this straight. We're just unbending at the knee and trying to slow the pull of gravity. Now, one little adjustment you can make if this whole falling on the ball thing is feeling like a little bit scary for you, I think it's kind of fun actually. Like, I know that this is secure and it's kind of fun falling on it, but if it seems scary for some reason, the other thing you can do is, you know, you can adjust where the ball is. Like, you could bring it a little closer so that even before you started leaning, your hands can already touch the ball. Or you can kind of have it where I have it like this, and as you start going forward, have your hands out, just touch your fingertips to the ball, and try to only use your fingertips as much, or your hands as much as is needed to get to the bottom. Okay, so your hamstrings will still be working. I do find that when you have help with your upper body, it's easy to start cheating the movement a little bit, you know, just because you can, and it's just like this subconscious thing. But as long as you're conscious of it, you can try to make sure that your hamstrings are still working. The advantage of this one is that you can't cheat at all. You can't trick yourself, and your hamstrings have to do all the work until you let go, right? So, but if you do it with your hands out, be like this. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. You're gonna be feeling it all in here. And I can't reiterate enough, make sure you keep your glutes engaged, not kind of letting them go and breaking at the hips. All right, I hope that helps. Now keep in mind, I may have already said this, but when you're new to this movement, you may only be able to keep your hamstring muscles engaged for like the very beginning of the lean. Like, it might feel like 1 inch, okay? Like, you might be like to here and then like, whoa, that's all I can do, and then fall. That is totally normal and okay. This is very, very challenging for the hamstrings, and it's gonna take a while to build up your strength. So if that's you, don't be discouraged. It's totally normal, and you will find your ability to gradually, incrementally increase as far as how long you can slow the movement down.